So I recently read Thomas Friedman's article in the New York Times, where he categorizes the entire humanity, into three phases: age of tools, since the advent of printing machine, steam engine, and then since then it was age of information till now. Now with the advent of artificial intelligence, especially Gen AI, so now it is about age of intelligence, and in the future it can be age of super intelligence.
And also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. So this will allow her to get smarter over time.
In the future, I hope to do things such as go to school.
With respect to some people, they use ChatGPT AI models and they were learning how to make bombs. And somewhere I read in America that this had happened and it resulted in loss of lives as well.
Again, we have lots of cyber crimes that are happening around. Now, I think people are going to use AI to invent new kind of cyber crimes, cyber frauds.
AI, Gen AI, the way it is progressing, it's like a black swan event. Is that so, sir?
There have been so many videos talking about human extinction, apocalyptical future, coming years. So, it could be.
Scaling a technology and building a responsible system are two different things. When you look into history of human beings, we have had a history of coming out with some of the best innovations, but the problem is we allowed innovations to race ahead of ethics, and because of that we suffered a lot. Be it our industrial pollution or any other major industrial innovations we have seen in the last couple of decades. Stephen Hawking very famously said, with the full-scale development of artificial intelligence, human civilization can face some existential crisis. My dear friends, we are at a crossroad as of now. In this podcast, what we will be doing is, we will be trying to unpack various ethical angles associated with artificial intelligence, maybe in terms of biases, maybe in terms of transparency, maybe in terms of accountability, and try to improve your knowledge and, more importantly, make you question where we are heading. Once you question, you'll get the direction, and maybe we will not be repeating the mistake that we did with other innovations in the past. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the podcast again, sir.
Thank you, Umesh.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing? I recently watched your comedy video. It was great.
Thank you, sir. No, we just tried that in terms of on-the-spot thinking, and thankfully it came out well. And students also, almost every other day, you're meeting us and you're asking what is the full form of CMM, right? And you're asking about, and I've heard from Shaman sir, you're asking about the leather products, the kind of advice you want. Please do ask Shaman sir more and more. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to make it possible.
It is all yours. Any day, anytime, you can do whatever you want here. Yes.
So, when we come to this topic of artificial intelligence, this has been something that you've spoken about for quite some time. And if you look at the education sector as well, after the advent of artificial intelligence, you have been seeing some fundamental changes as well. But the thing is this, AI is not something which is just new. It has always been there. But what we are seeing is Gen AI. How do you see the difference between the two, sir?
So with the advent of ChatGPT, especially generative artificial intelligence, so some people trace it back to Alan Turing, and it goes back to the World War times when they wanted because so the age we were living was age of information. Now it is the age of intelligence. So I recently read Thomas Friedman's article in the New York Times, where he categorizes the entire humanity into three phases: age of tools, since the advent of printing machine and the steam engine, and then since then it was age of information till now. Now with the advent of artificial intelligence, especially Gen AI, so now it is about age of intelligence, and in the future it can be age of super intelligence. So now the difference is the second part, the generative AI, in a way, going to really fundamentally alter. Right. So earlier we had, the machine learning we had in our smartphones. We had some form of artificial intelligence in various devices. We had IoT, right? So there was this artificial intelligence. Now the Gen AI has directly is directly impacting where there was so much of human creativity was involved, where the human element was very much involved. That there was necessity of human beings to be there. So I think that has become a fundamental concern, and now it is taking the shape of the ethicality, the ethics of AI, and I see lots of videos coming up with respect to ethics of AI. I think that is what we are going to discuss in this video.
Yes, sir. Because when you spoke about the difference between AI and Gen AI, AI has always been there. Absolutely correct. But in terms of generative AI, it is a system which is beginning to think like a human being, mimic a human being, and try to talk like a human being. And if you look at the recent times, if we take our domain into picture, many students, what they're doing these days, they're writing an answer, they're posting it on ChatGPT or other similar platforms, and they're trying to get an evaluation. So, from your opinion, sir, what do you think about this particular tradition? Is it good?
See, the generative AI, as far as I understand, the way it works. So there is lots of data in the internet created by humans. Now again, AI is creating lots of information and data, and AI is going to use the same data also. So whatever that already exists in the internet, so that is its major source of intelligence or information. So based on, for example, if it wants to evaluate any answer written for the UPSC examination, so what it actually does is that it will do research across all UPSC related coaching websites, right? So what information that actually exists, the parameters. I mean, you might have made a video about it. I might have written an article about it in the past. So here it is not intelligence per se, right? It is the available parameters that are there, scattered across the internet. So I don't think it will go to Harvard or Oxford and compare, the methodology, or it will compare, how someone in US is recruiting a public servant based on which parameters or something. So its primary source is UPSC website. In the beginning, when it is generating, you will see, it actually gives some information, which are all the website it is referring to come up with an answer. So it is not original, right? So if you want your answer to be evaluated, you come to us, you go to humans, right? We may be imperfect, but our intuition, our experience, the kind of expertise we have got by directly interacting with humans is more original and more insightful, right? So there what happens, I think it will apply the same formula across variety of answers. So its focus will be majorly on not analytical thing, it will be more on the missing fact, missing example, maybe missing dimension. So I think they should not go for this kind of evaluation, and it is always the human intervention, because this exam is very subjective, right? So wherever there is subjectivity, so I think you need a more experienced, more what do you say, learned individual to evaluate your answer.
Sir, just to add on to what you said, when a student posts a question or an essay on ChatGPT and they're asking for evaluation from it, it is pre-trained on certain amount of data. It searches for data, but the thing is, whatever pre-trained data it has, whatever data it is searching for, might not be correct, might be biased. And going by this biased data and thinking that what ChatGPT is saying or similar platforms is saying is absolutely correct, and that is where I think the first ethical concern arises, because the kind of data it has been built on, it might not be reflecting the morality standards which we require in a technology.
So add to that, let us say that when you are evaluating and I am evaluating essays, the way my mind is trained with respect to what to expect, how to evaluate, what are the certain factors or parameters based on which I want to award certain marks, is totally based on human interaction. and my own reading, my own the way I have updated myself over a period of years. It's a accumulated wisdom, I can say, like last 12, 13 years. I'm exposed to like nearly lakhs of essays, thousands of individuals. So when they come and sit, I've interacted, and some of them, many of them have become toppers. Right? Of course, majority won't clear, but you have, you have strengthened your intuition, right, over a period of years. So I think this human element, right? So I think it is far superior than what the machine can think. So other day there was one ex OGP student who was part of our OGP. She messaged me and said that, sir, I have been your student. I just wanted to do a favor to you. Are there any few students currently who are willing to work at Google for few months? Right. The salary is somewhere around 1.8 lakh to 2 lakh, and it is only for 5 to 6 months. So they need to train AI model from the UPSC perspective. Right. So now,
So if you don't mind, I found it very interesting when she said it's a favor to you as such. Because, because over here, the students are training the AI model, right? There's nothing favor about it. It's more like a transaction.
maybe what she meant is like maybe she's allowing me to give opportunity to some of our students or something like that. Maybe. No, the question is what you raised exactly. I mean, it is not professors, it is not UPSC evaluators, it is not UPSC people who are training this model. Right? It is somebody who has spent their time in the UPSC preparation based on their whatever understanding, they are going to train it. So I think we haven't, the AI hasn't achieved that much level of intelligence where it is, reliable yet, especially from examination viewpoint. Any examination where there is lots of subjectivity. If it is, let's say, physics, maths, chemistry, I think it's fine. You have one particular solution, and there are these many number of steps to solve a problem. So I think there it may be perfectly well. So, but I think when there is essay, like, truth knows no color, right? So how is it going to evaluate? So I think human element is must here.
So just to add on few more points to that, I've seen you evaluating essays for a very long period of time, and you were talking about it in yesterday's core batch orientation session as well, December of 2013. And whenever a student comes to you, it's not just about those red marks that you're putting or the marks that you're giving to them. It's the interaction that you're having and trying to understand their thought process, spending time, having patience, and to tell them, okay, this thought process is good, but you can do something better than this. And when I use ChatGPT or other similar models, what I see is it's just giving data and facts, as you mentioned. It's not analyzing the personality of an individual as such. Maybe it uses flashy words here and there, over and above, but ChatGPT or similar models is just in its nascent stage. Believing it completely might not be good in the longer term, is what I feel. And to add to that, sir, when we talk about ChatGPT in examination processes, many people think whatever it is saying is correct at the cost of their own intuition. Now, they might have had a great point, but when ChatGPT uses this biased information or what is available,
this limits your thinking. So all these tools, when you use them excessively, so that is what they stifle your creativity and your critical thinking powers, ability to analyze something. So when you are outsourcing, when you are heavily relying on some source, so you are weakening your own ability, right? It is always hollow. It is always passive. You are dependent on something.
and it gives a feeling that you're inferior to someone. It does not instill that kind of confidence as such, which a student requires in terms of clearing UPSC examination or any competitive examination for that matter. So the second thing is this. We have discussed two ethical concerns. One, in terms of the nature of data. Second, in terms of how it can stifle one's creativity. The third thing, sir, whenever we are analyzing any technology system, the purpose, the intent behind the design system matters. And anyone who talks about technological advancement, they always say that my technology is going to help people so and so. From the point of view of purpose, from the point of view of its design system, where do you see that in the ethical spectrum, sir?
So when it comes to AI, I was watching this podcast by Demis Hassabis. So he's the CEO of Google's DeepMind, and he got Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2024 for designing AlphaFold, so which revealed the structure of nearly 200 million proteins. Every kind of protein that exists in the nature. So earlier it was taking more than 10 years to decipher the structure of protein. So he is considered as a leading, a sane voice, when it comes to application of artificial intelligence, the future of artificial intelligence. So he said that we are in the race to create AGI, artificial general intelligence. First, we will create artificial general intelligence, and then we will use it to solve all human problems and also worldly problems. It can be climate change, it can be global supply chain related issues, it can be pharmaceutical related issues, to cure diseases, right, or to invent a new material, to create totally new stuff. Now, I didn't find it ethical in a way that first of all we are clueless about how artificial intelligence is taking shape, how it actually works also, how it is developing intelligence. And when it actually develops, there is Jeffrey Hinton, there is one, he also actually got Nobel for neural networks, I think in physics. He has made a video, I mean he has given an interview where he says that AI has already developed kind of consciousness, and it will eventually develop consciousness also. When it develops consciousness, what it means is that it will have the ability to make decisions. And we have AI agents. In addition to Gen AI, we have AI agents. The AI agent, what it does is that it will do the task of humans. It is there, you just tell him what to do, and it will take X action, X decision. And then if it requires another Y decision, it is going to make by itself. Human is not intervening. So it will automate, it will take all the decisions that are necessary to run an institution, or organization, or to complete a task.
Maybe a self-driving car.
Yes, like that. So when they start taking decisions, right, how are you going to stop them, from not taking decisions? Let's say, trigger an atomic bomb or something, right? Find out where the nuclear weapons are there, or switch off the grid, right? Do something. I mean, because it is all interconnected now. So Demis Hassabis might say, we will use it. I mean, we will create it and then we will use it. Now, if you look at the world, the way civilizations have evolved, the way human minds work, the way people, react or act, there are good people and there are bad people. Always, throughout the history, currently, everywhere, there are good people, bad people. So when you have these bad people and when they have access to these technologies, so are they going to apply this technology for, right? It is not going to happen. And it is extremely difficult to regulate artificial intelligence when it becomes sentient, when it starts making decisions. And on the other day, again, regarding the ethics of the AI, I was thinking about now the very fundamental, we are discussing about intelligence. All the companies, big tech companies, they are in the race to make it more intelligent than humans. Now the first ethical question is, should we make them more intelligent? They becoming more intelligent, is it ethical or unethical? More intelligent than humans. Second, they will start making decisions, they will start taking decisions. Should decision making be outsourced to robots? I mean, they will come in the form of robots eventually. AI, the way we are imagining that. There is third dimension, the most important dimension. Currently, you and me, all the humans, what we are doing, we are learning from the machines. So I open laptop, I open my smartphone, I read something, I do my work. We are learning from machines. Now, the machine learning is introduced, but in the future, we will become the subjects and the machines will learn from us, our behavior and our attitude, everything about us, everything, the physical world. The next biggest goal of artificial intelligence companies is to send every imaginable, tool, maybe in the form of wearable devices, robots, or the cars, whatever it is, to learn the physical world, to become even more super intelligent, right? Because that is the immense potential. You have opportunity to learn from billions of people, like trillions of things, right? So when that happens, then the privacy is totally gone.
There's a very famous saying, sir. Privacy in 21st century is a myth. It doesn't exist.
Now, in the future, when they will be observing us, I mean, they're going to be a new species, the intelligent beings. They will be observing us. I mean, where are you going to put a boundary? How are you going to? You cannot say no. You cannot say no to a new product, right? So we haven't evolved that kind of regulatory mechanism in countries like ours. Forget about all poor and underdeveloped countries.
So, when you talk about what you just said in terms of AI system becoming sentient, having consciousness, right? You also spoke about the purpose behind any technology. Anyone who advances technology, they will always say, yes, we want to help people. And there are certain examples as well. Recently, there was a drug which was developed and it took just around 18 months because Gen AI helped. Now, if this Gen AI was not there, it would have taken a much, much longer time for this new drug to be developed. And the second thing, using Gen AI, we have used this MRI, CT scans, and we were able to detect even cancer a lot more earlier than what was possible. So the purpose, as far as many people are saying, is good. But one needs to have visionary thinking, one needs to have long-term thinking. And here, just to bring certain movies here, we had Matrix. When the system had become so much consciousness, it had taken over the human beings, and human beings were basically living a dream as such. And if you take this movie I, Robot, which has Will Smith in it, there also a robot had developed such kind of a consciousness. It was thinking like a human being, it had emotions like a human being. And there is this one very beautiful series called Person of Interest, sir. And over here, you were talking about these devices in and around us collecting so much of information and even preempting. This series is called as Person of Interest. If you do have time, please do watch it.
Just to add to that, there are few more movies. There is another movie, Mother. This is also about artificial intelligence and the robots. So very wonderful movie. And then secondly, there was a movie Her, Her, Her. And third, I think Black Mirror series people might have watched. So it is all about futuristic technologies revolving around artificial intelligence. So earlier you were making a point. I mean, before starting with the movies, what was the point that you were making?
Sir, I was talking about the medicinal field
Yeah,
advances.
medicinal field. So with respect to pharmaceutical, somebody might argue that AI is ethical in the sense that it is expediting or it is speeding up the process of drug discovery and release of pharmaceuticals. Now the one of the arguments these pharmaceutical companies were putting forth for pricing their drugs very high was that they were spending billions of dollars in doing clinical trials, in doing research, in doing the drug discovery and everything. Now they don't have to spend that much amount of money. Are they going to make these drugs available free of cost or at a very cheaper rate? That has to be seen in the future.
So, just I will start from what I stopped. In Person of Interest, there is a system, an AI system, which has developed consciousness to such an extent, it has collected information to such an extent, it is going to know what I will be doing tomorrow based on all the data it has collected as of now. And the show was written by one of the Nolan brothers, as far as I remember. Okay. Very beautiful one. And maybe, not now.
Maybe Cohen brothers, not Nolan.
Is that maybe? Maybe. I am not sure, sir.
If it is brothers, it's Cohen brothers. They are come with lots of.
He is the brother of Christopher Nolan.
Maybe. Yes.
Right. And
there was one more movie, Minority Report.
Yes,
the
sir.
Same idea.
I think
so
it had
crimes in advance and then go and prevent the crimes.
Yes, sir.
Arrest the individual before the crime took place.
And it is quite interesting to know that most of these movies that we're talking about, artistic things, it has come in the Western world. When we talk about the Indian artistic scene, especially from a movie's point of view, there's a huge gap. And rarely
so we have Bahubali.
And, yes, sir. We have Bahubali, Pushpa.
Pushpa, wonderful movie. how to smuggle, how to harass the police.
Right. Even in the present times, you have small kids who do this exercise, jukega nahi. But I believe that these important issues, if arts some or the other way try to capture the mindset of people, the understanding will change, the awareness will increase, and we can start questioning. Because when you made a point that people are not always good, people want power, and AI gives them unprecedented power. For example, Sundar Pichai, he said, we are at the cusp of a very great thing where AI is the next profound thing, bigger than electricity as such. He was making a comment like this, and there is a possibility, people might use AI for nefarious purposes for their own selfish interest. Do you think it is happening or it might happen? What do you think?
So before that, of course, that will eventually happen. Before that, the kind of exploitation that is taking place, the exploitation of the nature, the resources, the amount of resources. I saw a tweet by Satya Nadella. They have created a huge data center where it takes 2 nuclear reactors to provide, to supply electricity to run these data centers. Where is it coming from? They are not totally run on the renewable energies, right? So they are, I think in another 2-3 years, they will create their own nuclear reactors. And there is lots of research going on, to speed up the nuclear fusion also, because eventually the nuclear reactors will not be sufficient. So you're looking at a world where in future, so whatever we were seeing in the science fiction movies, right? So that is really going to happen. I mean, everywhere, I think then they will shift their focus to poor countries where there is not much regulatory mechanism. And then they will change the rules governing, the management of nuclear sources. The institutions will be diluted. And I think that is one of the reasons what AI is doing is that the power grab. Now there is power sharing between big capitalist, big tech companies and the governments. It is implicit currently, and then it is going to become explicit in the future. So why people like Elon Musk, Satya Nadella, now Sam Altman, why they are so hand in gloves, or why they are so close to the US president, and why the US president has these gala dinners with these people sitting next to him.
Recently also they had.
Yes. So they have got the clarity with respect to this. So now the ethics of AI is not just restricted to how we are going to use. It is also about the dilution of democracy, or maybe eventual replacement of democracy with some sort of authoritarian governments. And it's also about erosion of lots of human values, because when you get access to, again, it is not just going to the power you spoke about. It is not just from the government viewpoint, it is also from individual viewpoint, the kind of power it gives, and then add to that, in the future, the quantum computers, even they are also going to come. So combined together, ability to create something, right, constructive or destructive, is going to be immense. And then, of course, there is always this inequality element. These technologies are not going to become ubiquitous or pervasive, available for everyone overnight. So there is always going to be large chunk of people who will be forever be slaves. You are going to exploit them, and they will forever be dependent on these technologies. I mean, on other people who possess these technologies. So, and humans are going to become subjects, as I said, without their approval, without their choice.
Your autonomy is compromised.
Totally, very good. Autonomy is going to be compromised. The dignity is going to be compromised. So I think we are looking that is why it is going to be. It's not, when he says profound technology, it is not just profound. It is fundamentally going to alter the very social fabric, the very social structure across the world, including the way governments are going to function.
Right, sir. In the present times, when I spoke about AI being exploited, you have DeepSeek, a China model, and you have ChatGPT, let us say an American model. And over here, they had asked a question about Tiananmen Square. Now, ChatGPT gave one answer, and DeepSeek, this China model, gave an answer which was not based on realities at all. And they're trying to control us. People who have power, Chinese government who has power, big tech companies who have power, they can control how we think, how our thoughts are formed. This is not good in the longer run, come what may. And with respect to some people, they use ChatGPT AI models and they were learning how to make bombs. And somewhere I read in America that this had happened and it resulted in loss of lives as well. And where you have self-driving cars, they're taking decisions in such a way. In one of the worst case scenarios, the driver was locked. He was not able to go outside. As and when time progresses, if we do not define the values of the creators, values for the governments, the structures that we have built over the years, be it democracy, be it family, be it any structures for that matter, it might crumble. So going forward, defining the values for the people who are creating ChatGPT or similar AI systems, people who are giving prompts to AI, defining that value system, I think, will become very crucial. And in this regard, sir, what are those values or what are those principles which you think AI should be regulated on?
So we are thinking from the perspective of generative AI now. So where we can put limit, like you mentioned the example of people asking AI, to create a bomb, and not to create a bomb, formula, how to do it. So these how to prompts have been very famous, since the advent of internet. How to overcome depression, how to love
Find love.
someone, how to cook something, or how to whatever it is, how to commit suicide also, whatever it is. So there have been such questions in the past also, but there was never a kind of need for regulating such kind of behavior, online behavior or something. It was always about self-regulation whenever it came to media, social media or something. So now I think the AI goes beyond it. Elon Musk, that Optimus, right, and Boston Robotics, they are so aggressive about, I think he wants to ship somewhere around 1 million, 2 million robots by this year end or next year end or something. They're serious about sending these, the robots in the real world. Now, when you say this robot equipped with all the AI thinking or AI tools, it can do what the mechanical jobs that humans do: washing clothes, cooking food, bringing grocery, arranging grocery in the fridge, or in the wherever it is. So, and then the ability to give answer to any kind of question, and then ability to interact with you. So now I think this kind of regulation goes beyond how we are going to use from our devices, handheld devices, to the real world interaction between humans and robots, between robots and robots. And in Black Mirror series, I had watched some 3 years ago, I think. So there was this episode where an individual, an introvert individual, so was afraid to fall in love with the real people. So he buys a robot with whom you can have a sexual intercourse or something like that. So I think that is also a weird future we are looking at. So where growing individualism and everything. So you want a companion, maybe a company will do that. Now what about the ethics of relationship, the ethics of there are many ethical questions you can raise. And then in the movie Her, the protagonist, Joaquin J. Phoenix, the Joker, right? So he eventually falls in love with the online AI, Scarlett Johansson. So she has given the voice. So she's emotional. She's just like human, and there is human interaction. He says, for the first time in my life, I felt the true love. No, I've fallen in love, and then she disappears. It is owned by a company. Now there are so many ethical issues. There are so many boundaries that the government. Again, we have lots of cyber crimes that are happening around. Now I think people are going to use AI to invent new kind of cyber crimes, cyber frauds, and maybe AI itself.
Listen, to add to it, deepfakes.
Deepfake is very common now. I mean, we see videos all the time. Now it has become normal. In Instagram reels, we see videos of Donald Trump, Narendra Modi, or Prime Minister, like any figure, public figure, we are seeing those videos, and eventually the criminals will find a way to make videos of mine and yours, and if they have some kind of ulterior motive to tarnish our image or to use our position to get something or whatever. So it is all going to screw up big time. So the governments, the way it is currently, they have to reimagine and redesign their all systems. The policing, maybe surveillance may come into their own counter surveillance to counter the surveillance of AI, or to prevent surveillance by AI. I recently tweeted about it also. This um, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. So now he has created AI glasses, right? So his idea is that in few years AI glasses is going to replace smartphones, right? It is going to do everything. You want to listen music, right? You want to send text, you want to read something, you want to watch video, it is going to be in front of you, right? And then,
Sort of like Iron Man's
so it is AI glasses, basically AI. It is AI. Now there is a sinister plot here. What I felt that now he is very ambitious. We know that he said that in few years they intend to create billions of these AI glasses. Almost everyone is going to wear. So when your eyes are the place where everything gets in and gets out, whatever it is, the way we see the world, perceive everything, right? So now when you put a device there, you are seeing everyone. Now I am wearing AI glass, I am looking at you, I am looking at him, I am looking at camera when in a public park, a public space, right? Let us say our child wears AI glass and just walks around the home everywhere, right? In all our private spaces everywhere. Now continuously in real time that AI is collecting the data. It is studying us, it is observing us, right? Who is going to stop? Are governments going to stop them? No, right? So governments are going to be in collusion with these people, and these people are going to control the government. They're already buying, stakes in governance, stakes in government. So through large scale funding of elections,
Lobbying.
everything.
So to add to what you just said, there is this individual thinker called as Nick. He says any technology, if we do not use it properly, it can have catastrophic consequences. And what you described in terms of AI glasses might be that. And in terms of regulating, you spoke about how there is a unholy nexus between the governments and all these big tech companies, and there might be a possibility that they won't be regulated as much as they should. So the onus falls on the users. So the users must be careful in terms of what kind of content, what kind of data they're giving, to what extent their privacy is being destroyed there, compromised there. For example, I remember there was this Ghibli art. It became so famous, and people were just uploading their photos, and they wanted to take an output.
It's a bait.
And they wanted to take and they just wanted to post a status. That's about it, nothing more than that. But the moment they gave the data belonged to them.
Correct.
So we need
No,
to
it's a very intelligent ploy again, to motivate, to incentivize individuals to upload everything, every photo of theirs, mothers, grandfathers, children.
Privacy is a myth in 21st century.
Yeah.
Sir.
So now when you talked about, the social, the media regulation, this AI regulation, the big tech companies. So we saw what happened in Nepal, right? They banned social media. Of course, the real reason was unemployment and large-scale corruption. But the moment the social media was banned, especially WhatsApp, Facebook, Gen Z, right? They burned down the palace, the parliament, everything, right? Now we have become slaves to these technologies, and we cannot live without, right? So they like take WhatsApp. WhatsApp has become a very essential tool. You cannot delete WhatsApp, and you cannot go back to normal messaging. WhatsApp has become very essential. Similarly, for some people, Instagram, for many people, Facebook, YouTube. So these big tech companies will create similar kind of products where
That, sir. They will create similar kind of products and the kind of updates that they release. Okay, who has read your message, who has not read your message, what is the status, and all these kind of things. When they bring that into picture, they're making us more slaves into this system.
Dependent. So they are bringing you into the fold of their technologies, and you cannot do away with them. Your existence, your identity in the future, maybe your survival, it is all bound with these technologies. It becomes integral to you, our existence. So when that happens, the governments will not have any more power to take away them from the people. The people will become impulsive, right? I mean, technology is making the very essence of individualism is that, like, so much self-centered. You are detached from so you are a government in yourself now, right? You don't need a government. You don't have to come out and vote, right? So it has a large scale implication for government and the social structure also. And I'm scared for our children in the future. I don't know, like, sometimes I feel buy a farm and build a nice house and go and hide there.
So the first thing that I want to do is, whatever it might be, in terms of children, their access to technology must be limited. And if you are
You cannot limit it. It is so. For example, I'll tell you, the education system is going to again fundamentally get altered. So the way we see classrooms, they won't exist anymore. Maybe after 5-10 years later, the screens are going to be everywhere. They are becoming very cheap, and the movie screen, you might have seen recent videos like 3D kind of stuff. Our walls are going to become screens, right? You may snatch your mobile from the children, but you cannot prevent them from accessing screen in some public space. So if you see Bangalore, slowly the billboards, they are slowly getting replaced by big these LED screens, and they will become our watchtowers. They will observe us, and they will become interactive also in the future, right? So such interactive technologies, they will be there. Maybe our child might encounter. So this is not something imaginary thing I'm speaking about.
No, it is true, sir.
It will enter Kenya, it will enter Uganda, it will enter India, it will enter even the smaller countries, because we are going to be very big markets for all these people to sell these things. So you cannot control children from accessing technologies. It's going to be very difficult.
Just to add to that, sir, whenever there is something new, whenever there is a new novel thing, we tend to get attracted by it. And if you remember this film, The Social Networking, which talks about Mark's life, there is this one line where a lady says to him, in an African country, they don't have water as such, but they have Facebook. It has become such an integral part of our life. Living without it can be very problematic. In Nepal's case, as you said, the fundamental issues were different. But that one regulation of banning social media, it created so much of an uproar, that impulsive thing. It was possibly like a person weaning away from drug addiction, going through such withdrawal pain.
No, there is contempt for the government. Now there is disregard for the social contract. The children, I mean, this generation, they think they are so much empowered because of the technology. We don't need the government. We don't need you people, right? So I think that is the future we are heading towards. So when that actually happens, it has, again, as I said earlier, in addition to having implications for the government, the relationship between citizen and the government, the interaction between the people and people to people interaction, the relationships, the way we value relationships, I think they will also undergo lots of change, because when these tools become available for everyone, when they start roaming around, hospitals will start using the robots immediately. Hotels will start using them in the place of receptions, and then they will enter the schools, AI schools. You will see within 2 years, someone starting some international school, starting AI lab or AI school, AI classroom, where you don't need a teacher, right? The children in the classroom are going to interact with the machine, right? So maybe the Terminator kind of world, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
So just to add on to what you said, in terms of AI, right? One more ethical concern associated with it. Yes, there are multiple challenges in terms of holding them accountable, but there is also a challenge in terms of transparency, because we don't know what are the algorithms which are going, how they're designing, what kind of deontological ethics is being compromised there. Is it upholding teleological ethics? Does it have any virtue ethics? Nothing of that sort. It seems like the motive is profit, and we're not going to share anything with regards to that because that is a trade secret. Can I say, if you bring some transparency into the process, maybe it becomes easier to hold them accountable?
But again, transparency now, as long as the companies, how they design their algorithm, how they create these products and technologies, transparency from that perspective, okay, imaginable. Maybe if it is, there is some kind of agreement, maybe we can put some accountability there, create some accountability.
So just to stop you there was this employee of OpenAI, an Indian. Now, he was considered as a whistleblower, and he was found dead under suspicious circumstances as such. It's going to become more and more difficult to ask for transparency from them when they are so much integrated.
See, these companies are looking at trillions of dollars of profits, not the size in the coming, future. So, as I said, they will have the capacity to buy and control the government. The kind of people they want to, they will become the government. So, this is the kind of future we are looking into. So, these when you talk about accountability and everything, right? Imagine AI robot. Now, what is the source of ethics for us? What is the source of norms? So we say that maybe moral education, the kind of education given to children within the home, maybe in the schools, in our universities. We learn from educators, we learn from teachers, we learn from administrators, like leaders and everyone. Now, when these start teaching ethics to children, eventually we are looking at a world where AI teachers are going to teach ethics to the children, to humans, basically. So, I mean, this is not again far-fetched imagination or anything. This is really worrying thing. And I mean, we may sound very negative, pessimistic about these things. The thing is, we have to be pessimistic. We should not be over excited about the new technology, because it kills the rational thinking. Pessimism is leads to more what do you say, a rational behavior in a way that will be more cautious.
Makes you think very
critically, will be very cautious, and then this herd mentality will not be there. So before receiving something, we are like, we wait and watch, and then there is some kind of self accountability. It's like we are. I think that is why it is not again conspiracy or anything.
So just to add something to what you said, there is a film of Brad Pitt. I'm unable to recall the name of the film, and there they try to trace a pandemic which had spread to different parts of the world, and he goes to Israel. And in that particular scene, there is this discussion between him and one more Israeli
I've seen
officer.
the movie. I'm not able to recall.
Same,
There's
sir.
a big wall. There's zombies playing.
And there is this one dialogue which I remember now, where he says, whenever a discussion is happening, right, between these Israeli officials, if there are 10 people, 9 people can take one stance. But the duty of that one person is to criticize, and take a different stance, no matter how pessimistic, no matter how irrational it might seem. And because of this one person's pessimism, for a greater part of that pandemic, they were able to live in a safe way. So critical thinking must not be confused with pessimism. It can have tangents of visionary thinking as well, as far as I can see from my humble point of view.
No, eventually humans have the tendency to create a better future for themselves. At the end of the day, we love each other, we love our children. If it is climate change, we definitely want to address. If it is some kind of pandemic, we would definitely want to overcome and address. So we have, if you look at the history, the world has become better, with every passing century. It has become a far better place today. There is less poverty compared to 100 years ago. There are less murders or less wars compared to few decades ago. We have cured lots of diseases. The life expectancy has increased, right? And there is so much of prosperity. we have this innate, that is where my optimism lies. We have innate tendency to secure our future somehow. But with respect to AI, it looks like, we are clueless. If it was, for example, Wright brothers, when they invented aeroplane, and then it was, in a large scale, used as a weapon during the wars, and then to carry passengers, to improve the speed transportation across the continents. And then at certain point of time, the technology stopped. So you have maybe Airbus Dreamliner, big aeroplane, the size got bigger, but the innovation stopped, right? It was all predictable, right? It was all predictable. You could predict how the engine worked. You could control. You could control to what extent, you could build. But when these become, self-conscious and, start taking decision on themselves, so there is no limit, right? So we'll lose the control. They will be out of control. So that is something very, again, we are talking, earlier, I think 2 years ago, we were talking about ethics from the perspective of bias, the racism, right? I mean, just 2 years to 3 years ago, it was not able to
differentiate between people of different complexion, different colors as such.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, within 2-3 years, the world has moved so fast, so advanced. I think in another 4-5 years, it is. I don't know. With excitement, we should wait and watch what kind of world we are going to live in. And I keep watching these videos. I keep thinking about it. But even I keep worrying about, what is our future? The future of coaching institutions, the future of education.
But I don't think it can get my sarcasm, sir. Neither can it get your human touch as such. It's still a little bit difficult, I feel. Be that as it may, sir. When you brought about a point that AI can replace teachers, AI can replace many occupations that we are seeing as of now, there was a study which was done. And based on the study, what they determined was AI related jobs will affect women a lot more than men. So when you look into the system of AI, there is this one angle which many people might not be discussing as much. But if they include this in your essays, my dear students, it can help you. The more AI comes into the picture, what will happen to the question of social justice? Will social inequalities increase even more than what we have as of now? Because we were speaking about prosperity. Now, are we at a crossroad with the prosperity that we have gained in the last couple of decades, in the last 100 years, might not be there because of the way we are using AI as such. What's your opinion on this?
See, Bangalore is planning to create AI city, right, within Bangalore. Now, you move away from Bangalore, a few kilometers away. You visit any village, and then you visit a government school, right? So they haven't seen laptop. There are crores of children within the country who haven't seen a computer yet, who haven't seen a smartphone yet, who haven't seen a laptop yet. So now, when you talk about inequality, I mean, what about sometimes should we think that their future is better than ours? I mean, they don't have these technologies. Their life is like normal, human-like life or something. Should we be envious about it? I'm not sure. So it's kind of course. So the inequality we measure from the perspective of accessibility to affordability to certain resources, certain services, right? From the materialistic perspective also we measure the inequality.
And when we look at the developed and developing country, developing Gen AI is not easy. And it requires good amount of resources. In a developing country like India, that always becomes an issue. Recently, the Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, he made a comment. He was criticizing the startup founders.
Correct. So we are more worried about quick delivery of foods than building more innovative tech companies. Now, just to add to your point, the one you mentioned, when I was talking about Satya Nadella, that tweet, the kind of data center they have created, you were talking about we are procuring hundreds of thousands of GPUs from NVIDIA. And the most advanced GPU, each GPU would cost somewhere like 5 to 6 crore or something, I think. in entire India, I think we don't have more than 50,000 GPUs. Last 6 months ago, it was 18,000 GPUs that were made available to all the AI companies and developers within the India. We are talking about 1.42 billion, populous country like India, right? Such a big country, aspirational country, which wants to become global superpower. Now inequality from the perspective of society, inequality here. So these companies have got so much capital to procure like literally millions of GPUs, right? And you see, I keep seeing they are adding 100,000 new GPUs, 200,000 new GPUs. Literally, they have now million more GPUs. All these, OpenAI and Microsoft, Google, maybe Apple also. And NVIDIA is the only company in the world, who has this ability to create. The Intel is dead. Intel was one of the time, previously it used to be world's
I think they're
largest.
collaborating as of now, sir. Intel and I think NVIDIA as well, I feel.
Maybe they are collaborating. I saw a video how Intel lagged behind. They're not dead yet. I mean, of course they will eventually pick up. Now the question is, we don't have such companies within India, right? We don't have. Only we are current now thinking, about creating some hubs for semiconductor, fab or fabless. So we are falling so much behind, and every week a new technology is coming related to AI. So I think India is going to be more vulnerable from this perspective, because again, see the irony. These are the Indian CEOs, right? Our IIT grads. So they are in the US, and this fellow Donald Trump, and dictating that within the US borders you create whatever you want to create. So we want to be AI superpower. We want to beat China, and now it is not just mere superpower, it is AI superpower. So from the geopolitical viewpoint, it is about AI superpower.
Sure, sir. And even from a societal point of view, using Gen AI requires some amount of knowledge. Using Gen AI also requires good amount of financial resources as well, because the subscription of these things are not very cheap, speaking from a common man's point of view. And people who have privileges as such, they might get a head start compared to those who might not. Now, how is it that we bridge the gap, or should we not have Gen AI at all so that there is a level playing?
No, it is not possible to bridge the gap. I mean, the kind of leapfrog, the quantum jump we are seeing, right? So I think I'm sure all these international schools, the schools where ultra rich kids go, I think they already have this, jump start privilege. So the learning, the gaps are going to widen a lot, and our governments are now waking up. They want to build toilets now in the government schools, provide desks now, and paint the walls now. And
I sense a little bit of anger in you, sir.
no, I mean, I've seen it. After getting into politics, I did a campaign, Nammanide Shalekade. And educational inequality is something that I'm so worried, because at that age, let's say there is a 5-year-old girl in a village. Totally, the kind of opportunity that girl gets during that age will determine the life trajectory, whether how she succeeds in life. Now you were totally preventing her from choosing the life she wants by denying her the very basic right of the highest quality education. So there is one vote, one value, but there is no one kind of education, right? So when this happens, you have a majority of citizens. Unfortunately, what is more shocking, when we visit these villages and schools and places, in a way they are not aware about these things. They have taken it as just the routine part of life. They've taken it as it is, nam life ishtane, nam life irade hinge. So our life is just like this. So the governments, I don't know the future, how we are going to.
Sir, I'll try to be the devil's advocate here, and I'm going to mention some of the measures I have in front of me. In USA, the former President Joe Biden, he issued an executive order on safe, secure, and trustworthy AI in 2023. In Japan, they have brought about a model called as Agile governance approach, where they balance innovation plus also ensure ethical safeguards. And in our own country, in India, we have NITI Aayog's document which talks about responsible AI for all framework. Do you think these measures are just an eyewash, or do you think that we need to do a lot more than just these measures that I've spoken about, sir?
These are not eyewash. Definitely, governments they are concerned. They want to really regulate these technologies. I think they are much more than anyone else. They are aware of the dangers of, because they are coming to them. They're not just about citizens. I think they are going to threaten their own power structures, their own positions. They are very much aware, but I think it is not adequate. I mean, they are also clueless, I think. So these are big words, when you want to say transformative, or whatever words you talked about.
Agile governance.
Agile governance and everything. So again, what do you mean by agile governance? Is it downsizing the government? Is it doing away with all your IAS, IPS officers? And I think DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, to bring more efficiency.
Do you think
How we are going to
something like
use
this will
AI.
happen in India, sir?
Similar to, I mean, they will eventually go with it, because you see, with respect to education sector, what is happening, at least in Karnataka, there are 65,000 vacant posts of teacher jobs. The government doesn't want to hire them. One reason is definitely fiscal. They don't want to spend huge money, right? So they are resorting to contractualization. The contract teachers, you get them, 15 to 30,000, depending on whether it is primary or higher education. I think one of the thought process behind it could be, eventually they are aware that they may not require teachers in the future at all, right? Similarly, they may not require a big workforce in various government departments also. They may be delaying recruitment, maybe for the same reason. Once you recruit, it is very difficult to remove them. Google or TCS, they can just do away with large chunk of their workforce with an email, right? But the government cannot do that. Now coming to regulation, or their way forward, where they want to make AI to each and every citizens. Electricity is not made available in India for everyone, even today. LPG gas is not made available to everyone. The toilets are not made available to everyone. Internet is not made available to everyone. Everyone do not have smartphones set in India, right? So again, computers and everything. And we don't have such kind of resources. If you want to make available them to everyone, only when these US based companies, only when it is like they have to be, you have to be at their mercy, right? You have to, maybe we may have to beg them, make these available. I think there was this kind of thing happened when Facebook wanted to give cheaper internet. Net neutrality, yes. There was this net neutrality where they wanted to. So that would have made Facebook extremely powerful if that had taken place.
And no government wants that.
No government wants that. But again, now we see Elon Musk Starlink project, how it is mainly targeting these maybe weaker governments, or not so powerful countries. So they are entering everywhere. So there is this sinister plot.
So there is this one radical idea which is going around in the intellectual circles, primarily in USA. They're talking about companies like Meta, Google, Alphabet, right, Microsoft, right, and OpenAI these days. They want to break them into various units so that power is not concentrated in one place. Probably when they break the company into multiple pieces, transparency, accountability, managing their authority, and not being at their mercy will become easier. What do you think, sir? I believe that this is a this is a good
Again,
move.
who is breaking? I mean, it's not breaking, it is compartmental. It is creating more
Yes,
units within
safeguards.
them. Yeah. So, but it is the company itself, they are doing, the board, the company
No,
board.
they want to impose it. The government wants to impose it from their side. That is what intellectual people want over there. Do you think
I don't think it is possible.
Mhm.
One is it's about the free market principle, the way the capitalism works. They will go to Supreme Court, they will buy the judges, and they will bribe, maybe, I don't know. So I think they will get a judgment in their favor without bribing also, because they will advocate about it is our autonomy, it is our freedom, the way we want to govern the companies. It is about corporate governance, right? I don't think the governments can impose anything like that. And that is one aspect. Again, these companies will be so big and so powerful, as we kept repeating again and again throughout this conversation. They will not have that kind of authority anymore. They will be purely at the mercy of these companies. It is happening. I mean, see, when Cambridge Analytica came, it was a very big thing at that
Facebook,
time.
yes, sir.
Compared
The
to
first
what happened.
presidential elections,
Yeah,
2016.
So, like, Elon Musk literally made Donald Trump the president of the US.
Second time around, yes, sir.
Right. So he himself and Joe Rogan kind of people, the influencers. So now it is influencers and these big tech people. They are they have the ability to put the government they want, put the people they want in the powers of seats of power.
So it seems like you're describing that AI, Gen AI, the way it is progressing, it's like a black swan event. Is that so, sir?
So there was this argument: AI is the last invention of the human beings. Right? There is nothing more to invent now. The AI is going to invent the things it wants to invent. If it is going to be a black swan kind of song, then I'm not sure. Is it a kind of nuclear catastrophe? Is it some kind of artificially induced some kind of starvation or wars? I'm not sure, but there have been so many videos talking about human extinction, apocalyptical future in coming years. So it could be the thing, we don't know.
So there is this very famous mythology. There was this Pandora's box story. When the box is opened, someone tells the individual, don't open that box. But when that box is open, everything which is wrong in this world comes out into the open. Everything which is wrong. But at the end, you have hope. Now, ending on an optimistic, hopeful note, sir, how is it that we can balance Gen AI development without compromising on ethics? Because the prosperity that we have worked so very hard for, the social justice that we are working very hard for, how can we ensure that this happens in the right way?
See, whenever we talk about ethics, currently, in the times we are living currently, the very definition of ethics is changing. Right? All these ethical norms, code of conduct, they are also going through kind of fundamental change. The way presidents behave, right? The way countries behave with each other. There is no morality in a way. If you look at post Kirk's assassination, the kind of events, discussion that are taking place in the US.
It's become so politicized, and hatred, you can see it literally on everyone's lip these days.
Yeah. So the way Donald Trump behaves, utter disregard to.
And he himself was someone who was a victim of it not long ago. When he was giving a speech and a bullet just grazed him, he missed it. And somewhere down the line, this incident seems like they're using it for their own political divisions rather than focusing on the rising of hatred in all the circles in crypto.
No, this is when happens when this kind of behavior is we are witnessing attitude at the top level, right? So that is the question. Fundamental question is what is the source of ethics for people, for companies, with the people, right? Is it societal norms evolved over a period of hundreds of thousands of years, or is it the constitution? Is it the kind of leaders we have, their behavior, our role models? So when this itself is seeing some kind of transformation in negative way. So the very definition of ethics, how you, I mean, the AI might learn that a president should behave in this manner, the way Donald Trump is behaving, right? So that might set a new precedent, new rule or a new code of conduct right? So I think these are all becoming gray areas. These are all uncertain. We don't know anything about it. I mean, what kind of new ethics we have to evolve? Who are going to evolve these new ethics?
So the discussions that we're having as of now, Socrates comes to my mind, and Socrates told the only thing that I know for certain is that I don't know everything. I don't know nothing. And in terms of AI, it seems like that. It seems like that. And maybe the best way to find that balance between Gen AI development and also ensuring ethical safeguards to address all the concerns we have spoken about, bias or lack of creativity, transparency, accountability, power angle, social justice, is to first start talking about it, the process about it, create awareness. Once we do that, maybe there will be some hope at the end of the day.
Well, again, we'll go back to Noam Chomsky. I watched one of his videos, like interviews. So he was concerned about, again, he's still alive, still concerned about democracy and other things, the rise of dictatorship, authoritarianism. So yeah, to safeguard, the systems we have built over a period of years, something that is helping us be more humane and to build better relationships. So he talks of fundamentally we should have lots of conversations
Yes.
everywhere, everyone.
Objective, non-hatred filled conversations.
Exactly. So lots of discussions everywhere. Unfortunately, our universities, schools, colleges, and then
Even parliament for that matter, sir.
parliament, the kind of politicians we have, there is so much polarization. They won't allow anyone who is threat to them to have certain opportunities, to have certain platforms to express their views. So I'm seeing from my perspective, the constituency where I'm working, sometimes they prevent me from going to certain schools and colleges. They intimidate, they threaten the principals, management there, that if you invite Vinay Kumar, you are going to face consequences. So I mean, this is a small thing, but overall, that is the kind of because the power, at the center of everything is power. Someone wants to control everyone, everything somewhere. So we just have to see in the future, is it Mark Zuckerberg Altman who is going to have upper hand, or is it their own Frankenstein's monster, that is AI, which is going to control them?
Sir, there are certain countries talking about AI ministers. You become AI minister tomorrow. What's the first thing that you're doing? You have the power now.
See, again, I mean, it is funny in a way that the governments would have created AI minister to further the AI, right? To further the AI interest, to create more AI infrastructure, to create more conducive environment for AI to flourish, to make it all pervasive, to be available everywhere. So, so it should be anti AI ministry, I think. It's not AI ministry. So we should be looking at anti AI ministry.
Thank you, sir. We've had a rich quantum of discussion over the last few minutes. And my dear students, my dear friends, the first step to solving any problem is to make sure to acknowledge that there is a problem. And when we look at this podcast, when we look at the last few minutes, yes, we are trying to acknowledge the problem, and we are also trying to make you understand that the solution is not as clear as it might seem. Yes, measures are in place, but are they adequate? Not so much. Let's acknowledge the problem. Once you acknowledge the problem, the second step is to build awareness, is to talk about it in an objective way, because what is going to happen in the next few years is going to determine the quantum of growth, development, altitude, whatever you want to call it, we are going to reach. And I'm going to end it on one quote which was given by a guy called as Isaac Asimov. Science and technology develops at a much faster pace than human wisdom. Let's invest in our human wisdom. Let's understand Gen AI and make ourselves, our growth, and also that of our country foolproof against any unethical, immoral uses of this technology. Remember what Gandhi said: science without humanity is a sin. Let's buckle up. Let's learn, let's think, and let's act. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I was just, when you mentioned Gandhi, I was thinking about if Gandhi were alive today. So what would have been his course of action? And I mean, I don't know how you would have seen, this AI technology and all. Maybe for another episode.
Thank you, sir. We will definitely explore that.
And also another dimension is history and AI. I'm very curious, how history is going to unfold in the future, right? What kind of history we are creating for the future in the light of AI. So, I mean, interesting times ahead. Thank you, Umesh.
Thank you, sir.